Hey, it's time for another everyday getaway, and today we're going to start a new series that's called Port Shorts, and we're going to be having a few videos just talking about different ports that we have visited in the past, and maybe even talk about some of the ports that we hope to go to in the near future.
All right, so for those of you who are avid cruisers or travelers or some of our everyday getaway family, we want to thank you for joining us. And today we're going to start off by going to San Juan, Puerto Rico. And
so we hope to give you a few ideas of things that you may want to do in San Juan, or if you're not thinking about going to San Juan, just kind of give you a little experience of what there is to do in San Juan.
All right, so come on along and let's go to San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Here we go. Well, first of all, San Juan is one of our favorite places to go visit.
It was absolutely beautiful, and the people, we absolutely loved everybody we came in contact with. They were so welcoming and warm.
And we can't wait to go back. What's one of the first places you want to talk about?
Well, we have, I think, about six places we want to go to. And the first one is Castillo San Felipe del Morro, which is a fort. It sits up on top of a big hill overlooking the port of San Juan. And we actually flew in the day before our cruise left so that we could tour San Juan a little bit before our trip. And the fort is in Old San Juan, so we took an Uber over. We did ride share.
And I believe the fort was built in the 1500s.
Mm-hmm. And it's just massive. I mean, I don't think I imagined it being that big from the things that we saw, but once you get to it, it's just the structure it's
and
huge.
And the views from the from the fort are just awesome.
They are. I will say it was really hot the day that we went, and there are lots and lots of stairs. So you have to walk a long way just to get to it. You know, that we'll show you, there's a big field outside, and the entrance way up to it was kind of a long walk. Once you got inside touring, if it's hot outside, I think it just felt like a long walk. But
and one of the views that our sons really liked, which they thought was kind of funny, one of the best views is from the bathroom.
Yeah, there's this big rock wall with this window that overlooks the bay of San Juan, and it is really a gorgeous view. Looking out, not maybe looking in.
So we're going to share a few pictures of it, and just so that you can kind of get an idea about the port.
Hey, and if you have any questions about it as we go along, you can always drop them in the comments below and we can try to answer them. By the way, it was about $10, I think, for us to go in and tour, and it was well worth it. I thought that $10 was more than a fair price through the National Park System.
That's right.
By the way, there were lots of iguanas there, lots of stairs there, but overall, just tons and tons of beautiful views.
Okay, so after walking around beautiful San Juan, getting a little warm, wanting to cool off a little bit, what's our favorite place to cool off in San Juan?
We found, and we had read about this in several places, and we'd seen it on just different vloggers' places, was a great ice cream place called Senor Paletas, and they have refreshing treats on a stick, it says, but they are frozen fresh fruit sorbets, gelatos, and ice cream. And we didn't go once, but we went
twice. Actually, we went the day we got there, we went, and then the next morning we went to the port, dropped off all of our stuff, and we decided we'd head over one more time and try it one more time since we really liked it and we knew we wouldn't be able to come back afterwards.
Right.
But they started around $5 and the prices run up. What was our favorite one?
Oh, we had a key lime pie ice cream. It was delicious, and there'll be a picture of it in a second. It was.
And it's kind of like a popsicle because it comes on a stick. So.
But it had, I mean, everything down to they torched the top to get that little smoky.
It was delicious.
Absolutely delicious.
Now, when we were there, it was a little bit smaller. I hear that they recently expanded a little bit, so.
And they do have food trucks that go out too, but we just went to the little store. The little place is just on these gorgeous cobblestone streets. You walk down Old San Juan with those beautiful color buildings, and we actually took one of our ice creams over to Pigeon Park, which we'll talk about in a minute, and just strolled the streets and ate ice cream. So, hey, we'll give you a look at what Senor Paletas has to offer.
Okay, after enjoying our treat, we headed over to the short walk to Pigeon Park.
And you have to try it. It's another Old Town San Juan, and there's a bunch of Old Town San Juan things to do. But Pigeon Park is an experience.
Quite the experience.
Yes, it is.
And it's a great place where a lot of families come, and you can buy corn and stuff to feed the pigeons with your kids. A lot of families there.
Right. It overlooks the port of San Juan, so you can see the cruise ship, you can see downtown, and it really was a beautiful place. We just found a park bench, and we sat there and watched people. One of our favorite things about cruising is just seeing the beauty that God's created and just getting to know people and kind of seeing how people live in another place. So this was just right up our alley. And the fun thing was, you can't control pigeons. So we saw a lady get attacked by some pigeons. Not really attacked, but they did chase after her. I think spooked her a little bit. That was fun. But lots of families to watch and got to meet a couple of people. So we really enjoyed it. So Parque de Paloma, you got to give it a try. Pigeon Park, here we go.
Here we go. Okay, so we spent a lot of time walking around. We had a little treat in the afternoon to help cool ourselves off. And now it was time for dinner. And we wanted to go to a real local and get some local food.
Right. So we hope to, in each of these port shorts, give you a little segment called Soak Up Some Local Color. And probably for us, that'll mean we eat something that's fun from that place. But for this one, we asked around. And matter of fact, we talked to our rideshare driver and said, we heard that you have to try the Mofungu here, and so where should we get it? And he recommended a place in
this was his favorite place, but I would research it out again before you go. Lots of restaurants downtown that you can go do. Very well priced.
Yeah, it's a national dish, and it's made out of smashed plantains, and then they serve those smashed plantains with vegetables and different meats. So we had, there were 4 of us there. Our sons were with us, so we got a couple of different kinds and shared it. One had more of a garlicky sauce, and one had more of a red sauce. But honestly, it was very fun. Absolutely would try it again. And we enjoyed
a lot of flavor.
A lot of flavor. We enjoyed that meal. So if you're ever in San Juan, you got to soak up some local color, and you got to give some Mofungu a try.
So do a little research and find a restaurant that looks interesting to you.
There you go. Here's what it looks like.
Now, one of the things that I did not realize about San Juan in Puerto Rico is, and we found this doing some research, is they actually have a rainforest.
And I absolutely love rainforest. I always have. And just the idea of all the animals, the wildlife, and the beauty that's there, it's just been one of those things that intrigues me. So when we heard there was an excursion to the rainforest and we could work it in, we were all about it.
So we actually took the excursion after we ended our cruise, and they took us out to the rainforest and then dropped us off at the airport so that we could catch our flight home.
Right, and I do think that if you aren't cruising but you are just traveling to San Juan, you can still book an excursion just there on the island. But for us, it was very convenient.
And I've even seen some people rent a car and drive out.
Right, now we were talking earlier, the parking there isn't that great inside the rainforest. Like there's a tower that we'll talk about in a minute. It just had a small parking lot, so I think that they kind of give you a 30-minute time limit or something.
Yeah, and there's people parked all over the
place. The forest is called El Yunque National Forest, and I think it's in the northern part of San Juan. And it took us probably an hour and a half maybe to get there. We were in a small,
little bus.
It was about an hour and a half for what we did, but waterfalls and rivers and just this lush green everywhere with these leaves that were on these trees that were like bigger than your head. I mean, it was just absolutely gorgeous. And one of the things that they take you to and you stop at in the middle is a place called the Yokahu Tower, which is just a stone watchtower that's kind of in the middle of the rainforest. And then you can hike up to the top and look out over the top of the treetops, which to us was kind of amazing. You just see those treetops, all that green, and there was a lot of fog kind of settling in. So 97 stairs to get up to the top, but boy, it was really worth it.
It was a great way to spend an afternoon.
Yes, it was. By the way, the rainforest in Puerto Rico or in San Juan gets over 20 feet of rain a year, and that just kind of feeds those waterfalls and those rivers. So there's a few pictures here just to share with you what we did, and honestly, it was absolutely gorgeous, something you definitely want to see if you get the chance.
Okay, so the hotel that we stayed at, we did some research looking for a hotel that we thought would be close to a lot of things. I think we found Tammy's favorite hotel that we probably have ever stayed in. Do some research, look around, see what you can find. If you're interested in this hotel that she's going to talk about, Corbin, been there, done that, has a YouTube video on it, and has a gorgeous pictures of the area.
Right. We stayed at the El Caribe Hotel, and we just want to shout out to El Caribe because honestly, it was just so beautiful. We weren't in the room a lot. We only stayed there one night, but when you drive up to the front, there's this huge breezeway, and it just looks like something that steps right out of the Caribbean. It's something that you would kind of picture, that beachy vibe. It has these huge ceiling to floor windows, which will show you that overlook the pool area and then out to the ocean.
And the people there were just perfect. Wonderful, very helpful.
Very lovely people. One of our favorite things, now I will say the pool was really nice. We enjoyed it. They do have like a beach area that you can kind of sunbathe and swim in.
Well, it's right next door to a public park too that you can go to.
But one of our favorite things was they had some hammocks between the trees that were right beside the water. And Doug and I could have stayed there all day long. We just got in those hammocks and we just watched the waves roll in and the tides kind of smash up against the rocks. And there was a fort in the background. It's absolutely gorgeous. And sunset was beautiful. And then we got up the next morning early so that we could go back out and watch the sunrise in that same spot. And they have these like rock retaining walls, I guess, around the place. And you can just kind of walk along the edge. And it was just
someplace that we would highly recommend.
Absolutely. It was a little expensive, maybe from what we would normally pay for a hotel, but for what you got and where it was, I think it was absolutely something that
well worth it.
Well worth it, and we would do it again. By the way, it's been on several, the housing or the the hotel itself has been in several movies, or the base, from Hallmark movies to movies you would see on TV. So it's very picturesque, and the movies even like it. So shout out to El Caribe, and want to give you a chance to see a little bit of what it looks like there.
Okay, so that kind of sums up what one of our favorite places to visit is, San Juan, Puerto Rico. We loved it. It's gorgeous. The people were very friendly. The food, of course, was great.
Someplace that we really want to go back to, either on another cruise as a port we go to, or if we sailed out of there, we would love to be able to go in to spend a couple of days in the beginning. The people were lovely, as Doug said. We enjoyed everything that we did, and it is just so beautiful. So we highly recommend it if you are looking for a port that you're thinking, oh, I'm a cruiser here and I'm looking for a port. Absolutely check out San Juan. If you are a traveler and you're wanting to go somewhere down in the Caribbean, absolutely a place that you might want to just take a quick trip to and spend a few days and look at and check out everything that's there.
We hope you've enjoyed this port short. We'll be having some others come out, so make sure you hit that subscription button and that notification button so you know when the next one is.
Hey, and if there's something that you've done in San Juan that you would like to throw out there for us, make sure you drop a link down in the comment, and then, hey, when we get to take our next trip down to San Juan, we'll surely check it out as well. So thank you so much for being with us. Take care of yourselves, take care of others, and we'll see you soon with Everyday Getaways and another Port Short.
Thank you.